In this video, you will learn how you can use virtual assistants in your Amazon business. And in particularly, we will talk about virtual assistants for your PPC management. So you can get assistant for a reasonable price who will do a good job and save you on ad spend, because they will optimize your advertising campaigns in such a way that this virtual assistant will pay off very soon. And today in our session, our guest will be Gilad Freimann. He runs VA Academy company, which is also sponsoring this session, because this session is part of the virtual event called Sellerfest Online. And our sponsors are what is this? Yeah, VA Academy is a virtual assistants company. They specialize in providing help for Amazon sellers with different tasks. And if you are really running out of staff people, you need more team members, just check out VA Academy. You can book a call with them or find the link below in the description. And very soon you will meet Gilad from this company. And another company sponsoring this session is Getida. They are FBA auditing company, and they help to maximize FBA reimbursements for any size of Amazon sellers. If you are small, anyway, contact Getida and they will try to scrape some money which Amazon owes you. The link you will find below in the description. And this session I'm hosting together with LISETT. She works with Amazon brands and with us, Orange Click. Hi, LISETT.
Hi, Augustas. Great to be back here with you to have another awesome and very useful session for the Amazon sellers. And I'm excited that Gilad is also our guest today, and he will teach you everything how virtual assistants can help you to run PPC better and also get better results. So hi, Gilad. Before we go to your presentation and all the details, could you first introduce yourself and also let us know again, once more, what do you do in Amazon space?
So my name is Gilad. I'm the CEO and founder of Virtual Assistant Academy Philippines, VAA Philippines. We recruit virtual assistants from the Philippines, and then we train them specifically to work with Amazon sellers. We started in 2015 as sellers on Amazon. So this is my background as a seller. And then we established, me and my wife, we established VAA Philippines in 2017. So already 5 years now that this is our expertise.
Sounds really good. So meanwhile, you prepare your presentation to share it with us. I wanted to remind all of the viewers watching us live today that you can ask Gilad different questions about virtual assistants, managing them, hiring them. So make sure to type your questions to the chat box. And if you're watching us later, then leave your questions as comments. So we will ask him to come back and give answers to those questions as well.
All right. So first of all, thanks for having me and talking about virtual assistants and specifically about Amazon PPC VAs, because this is something that we don't hear a lot. People think that VAs are usually, for customer service and maybe creating the listings. And what I'm going to talk about here and to show you not only that a VA can actually run your PPC instead of you, but also get better results than you could ever do by yourself, simply because they are professional. This is what they're trained to do, and they put more time and effort into it than you could ever do when you have all the other things in your business. And I'll start with a question that I'm getting all the time, especially from new sellers that are pretty much just starting their way on Amazon and haven't really scaled yet to big levels. And they ask this question: why do I need a VA? I'm currently managing my PPC myself, and it works fine. Okay, so it's probably a question that you ask yourself in the beginning when you are doing everything yourself in the business. This is something that we see happening a lot, specifically on e-commerce. The idea that you have to do everything in your business. That your business is you founded it, you're the owner of it, and therefore everything has to go through you. And it's something that we do not see in other businesses, outside of e-commerce, outside of online working. Nobody ever thinks of starting a business outside, like opening a shoe store, a restaurant, or anything, without actually delegating work to employees. But because it's e-commerce, then everything is in front of us in the computer. We tend to think that we can do everything ourselves. And there is even a name for it. It's called the Superman syndrome. We'll get to that in a minute. But before we go there, I'm going to ask you a simple question. When was the last time that you actually did a thorough keyword research, for example, on your PPC, or tracked your position on main keywords, or did an A/B testing for your PPC, like knowing exactly what works, what doesn't work, or maybe looked at your PPC reports? All of them are really extracting from there the information that could be relevant into creating new campaigns, or maybe learned about a new way of advertising. Are you actually using all the different types of advertising options that Amazon is giving you on PPC? When was the last time that you actually adjusted your bids, all of them, not just a specific one, or created new campaigns, or executed a competitor analysis, or used advanced tools, or used brand analytics, or tried Google Ads? It goes on and on and on. And maybe you have done some of these things. Maybe you're actually doing all of them, but probably you're not doing all of them on a regular basis. I'm talking about like day after day, using a lot of tools and a lot of time in order to work on your PPC. And that's what I'm talking about when I'm saying that solo entrepreneurs tend to do things by themselves. And this is where it goes back to the understanding of the Superman syndrome. So the Superman syndrome reflects the idea of a business owner on e-commerce starting his way or her way on Amazon and doing everything by himself or herself. So in the beginning, you're pretty much the Superman of your own business. Every time something goes wrong, you save the day. You do everything. You take care of customer support. You take care of your PPC. You post from time to time on social media. You create the listings. You work with your supplier on Alibaba. You chat with them for hours. And it goes on. And you are the only person to save the day in your business. There are two problems over there. One is that it's really good for the beginning because it gives you an understanding of how to do things and what you should do and to take care of problems if they occur. But when the business starts to grow, then you feel that it takes more and more of your time and effort. Okay, so you start to feel stressed. You start to feel like, okay, I'm not the owner of the business anymore. I don't have time for growth. I don't have time to focus on what brings me to the next level because I'm constantly focused on managing my PPC, on posting again and again on social media, on doing customer service, on creating campaigns, and so on. So you start to feel like it's demanding more and more time from you. And eventually what will happen is that you will start to neglect things in your business because you just managed to see that you don't have time to do everything. So suddenly, instead of managing your bids every day, you will manage your bids once a week. And then after that, once in 2 weeks. And then you will stop using brand analytics, for example, because you don't have time to it. So you just focus on what matters. The second thing that will happen is that you will start to get tired because you're doing it again and again and again. And what happened to this enthusiasm of an entrepreneur building a new business? You're not there anymore. You're doing the everyday tasks that repeats themselves day after day after day. You know by heart how to do them. And you're not. It takes all your energy. So you're pretty much tired into thinking of how you could grow and how you could really use your skills and creativity to bring something new to the table. So eventually, what happens usually after between a year to a year and a half, maximum 2 years within your business, is that this Superman becomes this Superman. And this Superman is a Superman that is more tired, much less capable of taking the business to the next level. And this is where it puts a lot of new entrepreneurs to the decision to stop the business. Now, what we're going to talk about in this presentation is to see the way that you do things as a solopreneur, or maybe if you have a very small team like that you started the business with, compared to, I like to prefer to compare it to 8-figure sellers, because we are working a lot with 8-figure sellers. The way they're working is that they use a lot of teams of VAs, and they know the importance of delegating tasks, and they hire multiple VAs to manage their business. So I'm going to compare the two, and you should see which one is more fitable to what you're doing now. So if you are the one doing the Superman of your business, let's say this. So this is you, and so PPC tasks, they go to you. Seller Central tasks, everything that I mentioned before, creating the listings, inventory, shipments, all that, you still do it. Social media, Amazon posts, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, influencers work, it's all you. So it brings back to what I said before of the same Superman syndrome. So you're doing everything, and the more time goes by, the more tired this Superman gets. Now, the difference between that and an 8-figure seller is that an 8-figure seller will work with a team of VA, with a team of managers, VAs, and they are the ones who actually control everything in the business. So instead of doing everything yourself, you're managing a team. So now you're in the position of growing, of management. You have more time, and you're checking to see what other people are doing that takes so much time and effort from them, but you are the one to still oversee the business from the outside, which gives you the opportunity and the possibility to still be your Superman of your business, because you have more time, because you have more options to be creative, because you're not stuck on the lower line of the chain. Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about here, and we're going to compare 8-figure sellers to the way that solopreneurs are working, and you'll see that if you want to understand what's the secret of this 8-figure sellers, why they're selling more than you. If you look at your niche and you see that they are the ones on the top selling the most amount of units, and you want to compare what they are doing better than you, then you will actually go down to 3 things. First is that they will have a better conversion rate than you, what you're doing, and we're going to talk about it. The second thing is that they're going to have a better internal advertising, PPC. They will do it better than you, from the reasons that I said before. And the third thing is that they will have a better external traffic than what you're doing. And they're doing all this because they're using a team of VAs, or even 1 or 2 or 3 VAs. They don't have to start with a team of 20 VAs. But the idea is that they have somebody dedicated to these tasks that is doing it again and again and again for them. And we're going to see now which task this person can do for you, a PPC VA can do for you in order to grow your business. So we're going to start with the first one, better conversion rate. Okay, that's going to be the fastest one. We're going to go very fast on this one, and then focus on the other 2, which are more interesting. But even I'm talking on better conversion rate, I'm talking about indexing and keywords done right. And it means you have to ask yourself, like, when was the last time you changed your keywords? You did actual thorough keyword research. Have you used Helium 10 or any other advanced tool to do a very good keyword research and check that on regular basis? Okay, are you using the information coming from your report, your PPC report, in order to improve your listings? If this is something that you're not doing on regular basis, definitely before any, Christmas, Black Friday, Prime Day, but also on regular basis to check what's new, what's going on in the world, what's important to the people that are buying from you now, and adjusting your listings compared to them. Okay, I'm talking about everything. I'm talking about doing competitive research on your keywords and indexing, because if a day goes by and you're not indexed correctly, then it makes a huge difference between, imagine that you have somebody, a PPC VA, that one of their tasks on daily basis will be to check your indexing, to check that every keyword is indexed correctly, to do a keyword research and using external tools and using the PPC reports in order to see that everything is done correctly, okay? And to tell you about it if something goes wrong. It's a huge difference in sales compared to if you're not doing any of this, or you're just checking it from, once in a month or once in wherever, just to see that everything is okay. Huge difference, okay? So that's just one, the opening sentence to the things that we're going to talk about now, because it's becoming more and more interesting. The second thing is about better internal advertising. Better internal advertising, I'm talking about managing your PPC. Pay attention, I'm not talking about running your PPC. I'm talking about managing your PPC. Running your PPC should be a part of the task of your VA. Your PPC VA, designated person that will manage and that will run your entire business on PPC, which will leave you the option to manage that person, to get the reports, to get the information, but not to spend 3-4 hours every day in making sure that everything is working good. All the things that I mentioned before in the beginning. Okay, so and just for you to understand the difference between what happens if you're the one doing your PPC and if you have a designated PPC VA to do it, I'm going to go and talk about a case study that we did together with Helium 10. Okay, Helium 10 contacted us and we did together a case study. They took a high-level seller selling in dozens or hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, and ask that seller that is using their tool. Their tool is their PPC tool is called Atomic. For those who don't know it, by the way, you can check this case study. It's in Helium 10 website on their resources. On their blogs. There is this blog, leveraging VAs to manage Amazon PPC. Okay, so what they did is they took this account and they spared several campaigns over there and gave it to a designated PPC VA that was trained on Atomic. And they wanted to see the difference between what happens when the Amazon seller is managing the account compared to what happens if the PPC VA is managing the same account. Bear in mind that we're not talking about a newbie that just started their way on Amazon and doesn't know anything about PPC or doesn't know anything about Atomic. It's a high-level seller, 8-figure seller that's selling in high volumes and know exactly what they're doing on PPC. And still, they wanted to see the difference. What happens if now a PPC VA will manage this account? So this was the account that they used as an example in the beginning. And you should see from here that this is just the part you can see on the lower part. It's called Helium 10, H10. So they chose specific campaigns and dedicated for Helium 10. And you can see the spending of this account was 19,000 for these specific campaigns. The sales were 62,000 for these specific campaigns in 1 month. Impressions about 3,000, and the ACOS was 30.87%. Now, and it brought to 1,954 units. Now they took the same account and gave this to a designated PPC VA that was trained on Atomic, and they wanted to see what happens exactly 1 month after. Just 1 month, okay? Think of, in 1 month, you cannot really get a lot of changes in your account. You can just taste to see the difference, okay? So this is a tasting of what happened just about a month after. And you can see that the spending stayed almost the same. It's still 19,000, okay? Sales went up from 62,000 to 75,000, okay? It's a big change in the sales, okay? Impressions, okay, even less. So you get a better report, better results from the people that are exposed to your ads, because you're aiming for the right audience. And the ACOS went down by 4%. Okay, so the orders went from 1,954 to over 2,000 to 2,163. Okay, so a huge change in 1 month. Okay, they actually continued this and continued to check, and the PPC VA continued to get better and better results 1 month after the other. But this is just a tasting that I wanted to show you. So you can definitely see when not only that a PPC VA can save you so much time and effort that you're doing things in your PPC, but now you're free to focus on growth, on what will bring you to the next level, on seeing things from higher above. But also you will see that the VA gets you better results, better sales, which will definitely cover the cost of its own work. Okay, so it's like basically for free. You have somebody that brings you better results and manage it for you, freeing you up to the more important things. Okay, so this is only by Atomic trained VAs that were trained to work on Atomic and did this case study. So this is how you get better results in internal advertising. Okay, already becoming interesting. The third point is a better external traffic. This is really, I think, one of the most important and exciting things about Amazon, because when I'm talking about external traffic, I'm not talking about like influencers and so on Amazon posts or Facebook ads. It's not about that. It's really about drive new customers from Google, okay, using Google ads. All right, look at this, how it looks like. Somebody's writing best kids t-shirts on Google. They will land on your advertisement and they will jump directly to your listing or your store and buy from you. Okay, why is this so good? I mean, we don't know so much about Google ads. Why could be this helpful to us in the business? So I'll tell you why. Because Amazon wants it badly. They want to have new customers coming in outside of Amazon. The ones that are already in Amazon, going to shop inside of Amazon, they're already their customers. They're already buying from them. They're used to buy from Amazon. This is what they do on a regular basis. They buy from Amazon several times a day. So Amazon, they know that these people are already their customers. So they want to give them the best option, the best customer experience that they can have. So it means that you're fighting over these customers among all the other competitors. There's no difference. Amazon don't care if this person will buy from you or from your competitor. Okay, and you can see that in here. When you see the left side, it says before. So if somebody is clicking a keyword inside of Amazon and going to your listing, then Amazon will continue to push them, your competitors. So just on the top, you see 3 different commercials on top of what you're selling. So even if the client already clicked on your ad and is already inside your listing, still there is a chance that this person will go and click on another ad. And Amazon don't care about it. They just want the customer to stay more and more time inside of Amazon and eventually purchase the best deal for them. Okay, so that's not the case on Google Ads, because here, this is not a customer of Amazon. This is somebody that came in from outside of Amazon, doesn't know Amazon, or is not used to buying from Amazon. Otherwise, they would go directly to Amazon, and they landed in on your listings. And here, the intention of Amazon is that this person will buy as soon as possible and will not get lost along the way. So look at the difference here. Here, the only competition that you will have in your listing is your own. That's the only thing that they will allow the customer to see if they're coming from Google Ads. So you're not only bringing people from outside, like bringing more traffic to your listings, but also you're improving your conversion rate, because these people that will come from the outside, they don't have any competition. They just see your listings and that's it. So it's amazing, and it brings completely huge results just by this. The second thing that is crazy is that on top of that, Amazon will actually bring you 10% attribution back, on the referral bonuses. So because you're bringing people from outside of Amazon using Google Ads, then Amazon will pay you back 10% of the amount that the person has purchased, which again, like the example before, will cover pretty much the entire cost of the VA that is doing Google Ads for you, and even maybe the cost of the advertising itself. So it costs you actually even less to make advertising outside of Amazon compared to inside of Amazon, because you have less competition. You get 10% back from Amazon, and Amazon will make sure that you have a better conversion rate. Okay, so this is why it's so great. But most people do not know how to do Google Ads. They say, okay, wait a minute, now I have to start learning about Google Ads, and this is why I want to present you with Amped. Amped is a huge, great service. It's fairly new. It exists about a year. And what they did is they take Google Ads and they make it convenient to you. They allow you to do keyword research inside of it that is relevant to Amazon, not to Google, okay, and to get the statistic that is relevant to Amazon. So it's much easier for you to create campaigns on Google. They're actually connected to your Google Ads platform, but you're doing everything from inside of Amped. And it's much easier compared to understanding how Google Ads work, because everything is done from inside of Amped. So you need to be trained on that. And if it looks like Chinese to you and you say, okay, this does not look like my regular Amazon PPC campaigns, then yes, it is different, but it allows you to have an enormous, huge amount of potential clients coming in, customers coming from outside of Amazon. So it's worthwhile learning about it. And not only that you can learn about it, then your PPC VA can do it for you. And this is actually what we did with Amped. We took Amped, we communicated with them, and we created training specifically for our PPC VAs and certified them by Amped. So Amped actually tested them after training them. And exactly the same thing as we did with Helium 10. We trained our VAs on Atomic and on Helium 10. And exactly the same thing we did with Amped. And Amped certified PPC VA can create these campaigns for you and manage it for you, connect the Amazon attribution to your Amped account, and get you everything starting and rolling, and saving you money and bringing you more sales. So it's if you're not doing it now, make sure you start doing it, either by a VA or yourself. But start doing it. It brings you a lot of opportunities of getting more and more sales. Okay, so we talked about why actually hiring a PPC VA would be the best thing for your business, because of many reasons, because of conversion, because of internal advertising, because of external advertising. All this is something that the PPC VA can help you with. But how to find a great PPC VA, that's a tricky question. Okay, so we're going to talk about it. I'm going to give some tips. I don't have a lot of time, but I'm going to talk about a few tips that could help you in finding a great PPC VA. The first tip that I'm going to tell you is that experience is actually misleading. Okay, do not count and do not believe what PPC VAs will tell you. I'm not talking about just only in the Philippines, in general. I mean, people will say to you whatever you want to hear in order to get hired by them. Okay, so, get hired by you. So they will say to you that they have a lot of experience. They will say to you that they know that they've been managing huge accounts before, and everything sounds perfect, but that's not the truth. And because we're doing all the time, because it takes us a lot of time to find our VAs, then we know that this is misleading. Okay, so the first tip is don't just by the experience, judge by the capabilities and the potential of the VA. Okay, in order to prove it, I just went on online jobs and I clicked PPC VA. I want to see if I get a result or two of what happens over there. So actually what happens is that you get a list of 40, 50, 60 VAs. The first one looks pretty promising. Okay, experience with 6-7 figure Amazon FBA private label and wholesale sellers, expert strategies in Amazon PPC, launching campaigns, mining keywords, beat ups. It looked perfect to me. So I said, okay, wait a minute, let's hire this person. But then I saw that the line just below that, there was another person saying Amazon SEO and PPC VA Amazon account manager, a reliable, meticulous, and resourceful Amazon account specialist with over 4 years of experience. So I thought, okay, this is also great. And then came the third one, Amazon PPC manager and SEO specialist, improving traffic, conversion, and brand recognition for Amazon brands through SEO. And it goes on and on. And actually, I have to tell you, this does not say anything about these people. They could be good, they could not be good. Most of the time, and by judging by our statistics, we usually recruit 1% of the applicants that come to us, and they all come with this experience. They all come with this portfolio and CVs. So don't judge by just what they say about themselves. Test it to see the reality. Test to see what they're made of, and instead of just what they say about their experience. The second thing that we're going to talk about is working with numbers. Okay, you have to find people that are really good with working with numbers. Okay, they have to show you that they have an analyzing data qualities. Okay, they're good in Excel, they're good with numbers, they're good with mathematics, and usually they would come from this field. So instead of hiring people that they say to you that they have 4 years experience in doing Amazon PPC, you should go and hire people that are actually coming from accounting or finance, and then train them on Amazon PPC, but you will get better results from them for the long run because they're really, really good with numbers. So working with numbers is really a must. Analyzing data task. Okay, you do not hire somebody just based on how they sound on the first interview or the experience that they claim to have and or the previous experience that they have with dealing with numbers. Give them a task to see how they can analyze data. Either you record for them like a training of some sort, and then give them a task and see how they know how to analyze. If they're good in Excel, if they know how to understand the numbers and get you the results. It doesn't mean that they have to know PPC that good at that point, but they have to be able to do a good analyzing data task. Okay, that's another important thing. And the last point is about their qualities as people. You have to find people not only that they have the qualities like good in analyzing data or working with numbers, but you want them to stay with you for the long run. You want them to be motivated and not just leave after a month because they're looking for the next opportunity, or they got a better payment proposal. So you have to find those that are motivated, dedicated. They're keen to details. Attention to details is very high, and they don't make mistakes. They show up on time. They really want to learn and advance and become a part of your business. And the only thing that I can say about this is that you have to have patience. Okay, there is a reason why it takes us 2 months to find our VAs, our PPC VAs, because it takes time to understand motivation. It takes time to understand the dedication of a person over time. It's not enough what they show you on the first interview or how they sound and act in the first week of training. It takes time to find until they start to squeak, until they start to not show up on time, until they start to give excuses, until they start to make mistakes. So this is why we take our time, and it takes us almost 2 months to find the right people, and so should you. take your time. Don't just look at the post an ad and hire the first person over there just because of what they say about themselves or how they sound after the first week or two. It takes time to find these to see that in a person. Now, training your VA is something we definitely recommend. When you're training your VA, you know exactly what he or she will know and the way that she will work, compared to just hiring somebody who's a so-called expert on PPC, but you have no idea who would train them and on what, and they could be making a lot of mistakes. So when training your VA, there are some tips that I can give you on this. Is that not the basic training about PPC, because that's something that you can definitely take care of if you know PPC good enough, but it's more to make sure that your VAs will continue to be updated every time on what's happening on Amazon, what's happening on the external tools. Every time there's a new update on Sales Central, on different tools, then you should know about it. And the way to do it is really ask your VA to track these websites. For example, Amazon Ads. I don't know if you know it. The Amazon Ads is a website. You can go over there and there's a part that's called Learn. And inside there is the learning console. It's a lot of videos over there, not just to train you on PPC, because it takes more than just a series of videos to learn it. But every time Amazon Ads releases another update on Amazon on PPC, a new feature, then it will be over there. So if you have your dedicated PPC VA every day working, checking the Amazon Ads, or being a part on their newsletter and getting these updates, then you will know about these new things and you will start using them before everyone else, and you will get better results compared to the others because your competition is going to be lower on that new feature. Okay, so that's one thing. The same thing with Helium 10. On Helium 10, there is the Welcome to Helium 10 Academy, and the Academy can help you to train your VA on the new tools and new features on Helium 10. Same thing with Amped. Actually, Amped, the Amped training that is on their website is something that they created together with us, because they train our VAs, we communicate with them, and we built together trainings for our VAs. And then they took these trainings and now it's on their website. So you can use this in order to train your VAs and even be trained yourself on Amped. And it goes the same with all the other main tools and software. So always look for this part of the academy or training or learning console that the website has in order to learn. Okay. So last tip before I end this talk is about Walmart. Okay, Walmart is not a part of this discussion. We're talking about PPC VAs, but you're probably aware what's going on now on Walmart. You're probably aware that more and more sellers start to sell on Walmart, because the walls that they've created in the beginning to make it really hard for people to enter and start selling on Walmart has really changed. And now it's much easier to start selling on Walmart, and they actually upgraded and made selling on Walmart much easier compared to how it was like 5 years ago. So still the competition over there with trained people is very low compared to Amazon. So that is the time to start selling on Walmart. And this is where you see the best results when you're doing your PPC. Yes, the PPC is much easier and much less complicated compared to Amazon PPC. But if you're taking a PPC, an Amazon PPC VA, for example, and that person will start to create campaigns for you on Walmart, you will get better results because the competition over there will be very low. So you'll get better return on your investment. Okay, so that's just the last tip to go. I'm not going to talk a lot about it, but that was everything that I wanted to say. A little bit about us. VAA Philippines, we're specialized in matching Amazon sellers with skilled and dedicated virtual assistants in the Philippines. All our VAs, they're all Filipinos. We invest a lot of time into finding the right people, like I said, filtering them over dozens. We're left with usually 1% of the VAs. Then we invest so much time and effort into training them on everything they need to know about Amazon and integrating and supporting them when they start to work with you. We want to make sure that this works between you and the VA for the long run. We're going to support you as a seller. We're going to support the VA with ongoing trainings on everything that's happening today on the Amazon world. And the examples that I've shown in this presentation is exactly that. Training them on AMP, training them on Atomic, training them on Sales Central, everything that's new. And that's something that we do on regular basis. If you're wondering like which VA do I need or which type of VAs we have, then just in a nutshell about the different types of VAs. So we have the Amazon trained VAs. They're trained on basically everything on Sales Central except for PPC, like creating the listings, creating customer service, shipment plans, opening cases with Amazon, you name it, like asking for feedbacks, reviews, all the everyday activity that is involved in Seller Central, except for PPC. PPC trained VAs is everything that I talked here on this presentation. These VAs, they are coming from a field of working with numbers, usually, like I said, analytical type of people, really good in math. Their training is focused specifically on PPC, creating campaigns, optimization of the ACOS, the bids, understanding all the different systems and options of doing advertising inside of Amazon and outside of Amazon by using, for example, Amped, using Google Ads. They're trained on that. They're trained on Atomic and so on. So that's the PPC trained VAs. Social media, everything about creating campaigns, not paid advertising, but creating posts on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Amazon posts inside of Amazon, influencers work, all that, everything that is social, that's a part of the social media department. Executive assistance is like if you need a general VA to help you to conduct researches outside of Amazon, managing your inbox, your calendar, following up with payments to your suppliers, all that is executive assistance. And we also have graphic designers and video editors. So these are the type of VAs that we have. We are an Amazon-focused company. Everything we do is Amazon. So if you have any questions, if you want to move forward with this, if you want to learn more about our service, then I'll be happy to talk with you. You can just scan this code and it will go directly to my calendar, and you can schedule a meeting with me. I'll be happy to talk. And also you can reach out to us by service@vaaphilippines.com, or just visit our website, vaaphilippines.com, and you'll see all the different services that we give. So that's pretty much it. Augusta, Lisette, are you there?
Yes, we are here. Don't worry, we didn't disappear.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
So once again, I will show the logo of VA on my screen. It's living in my office. That's great. Okay, Gilad didn't see. All right. So now next, if you like this session, if you like the tips Gilad provided, don't forget to like and subscribe, of course, or like, it's most importantly. Question to Gilad, the first question, did you like this video already? While you are searching for the answer, I will also mention that this event is part of the Seller Fest virtual event, where we have almost 30 Amazon experts attending or participating and sharing knowledge with you. And with 20 of them, we created additional pieces of content, which are additional 20 videos, and you will find them in the Seller Fest VIP package, which you can find by clicking the link below in the description or the link you see on the screen. And in this package, we have exclusive content recorded just for this package. So these videos will never be published anywhere else publicly. And for example, Destiny, the PPC, today we're talking about PPC. She's also focusing on advertising, and she would explain you in the additional video how to deal with problematic TACOs and increase the performance of our advertising campaigns. Also, we have other speakers like Daniela. She's sharing 2 strategies for storefronts to improve your visual representation or textual representation of your Amazon product listing and get more sales and revenue. And Gilad, what did you share in the VIP video?
All right, so in the VIP video, I actually talked about how to really find great VAs in the Philippines. I talked about it a little bit here, just a taste, to understand that it's not so easy as people think to find good VAs out there in the Philippines. And I actually talked here, I actually shared our actual process of finding good VAs, our funnel that the VAs have to go through over these 2 months in order to find good VAs. So you can take whatever you want from there. You can do the entire process, or you can just take things that will improve the way that you're hiring VAs and estimate if this person is good or not for you.
Perfect. And yes, you'll find the link below in the description to upgrade to this package. And then once you access the membership area, you will find all the videos and can watch them one by one. And now I think it's time for questions. So let's bring Lisette. Hello, Lisette.
Hi again. So yeah, we do have questions for you. So let's take the very first one. So do you believe we should know how to do PPC inside out before we delegate these tasks to a VA team?
All right, good question. I like this question. I think the answer, there's no one answer to this. I mean, we have customers that come to us from the beginning. They say, look, I don't know anything about PPC. I don't have the time for it. I want to grow my business on Amazon. The only way that I see myself advancing on Amazon is to hire a PPC VA, because I don't have any time to do it myself. And if I stay like this, then I will never grow. And then they put their trust in their VA. The VA takes it from there, because the training that we give the VA enables them to do everything by themselves and to take it to the next level. And this is how they advance. However, I do think that the more you will know PPC, the better it will be for you, because you will start just trusting your VA, and you will start working with your VA as a team, giving the VA instructions, working with your VA, understanding the reports that the VA will give you. And you don't have to be a super expert on PPC. You have to understand PPC. And by starting to hire a PPC VA, it will free you for a lot of time to start learning and advancing in your PPC, because now you will not spend the entire day just doing your PPC yourself. You will start, somebody else will do it for you, and you can use this time to grow your knowledge.
Okay, thank you. So another question, do you have VA services that would help with product research?
Yes, we do. That's not a part of the PPC department, actually. That's a part of the Amazon department. The Amazon department, they're trained on everything that is connected to Amazon that is not PPC. So and definitely a part of product research, whether if you're doing private label or if you're doing wholesale and arbitrage. We have different departments, different trainings for these, but the VA can definitely help you in finding the right products for you, going over. You will have to know what you want the VA to look for. You will have to know your criteria. Again, same like PPC, don't trust your VA to find you $1 million product by herself without you knowing what you want. Otherwise, they would just find this product for themselves and that's it. They work under you, so you have to manage them. You have to know what are the criteria, what is your budget, what you want them to ask, but they will know how to use Keepa. They will know how to use Jungle Scout. They will know how to use a thorough keyword research in order to find you the right products.
Okay, very good. So which day-to-day PPC tasks should I first delegate to my virtual assistant?
So I think there are two things over here. First, you should list the entire things that you're doing at the moment yourself, and think of how much time it takes from you, and ask yourself the question like, is this something that I actually need to do myself, or can I give this task to a qualified PPC VA? Assuming that this person is qualified VA that knows everything about PPC and can actually take this task from you, is it still something that you need to do yourself, or somebody else can do for you? If the answer is yes, then already you have a list of the things that you're doing now that you should delegate to your PPC VA, including everything like keyword research and the indexing, checking, and creating of campaigns, going over the reports. Everything that I mentioned in the beginning of the presentation is something that the PPC VA can help you with. And then also something that is good to know, when we're connecting the sellers with the VA, we're going to connect them first of all with the manager from our side, the PPC department manager. And her job is really to give you a lot of guidance and ideas of what else the VA can help you with. So even if you're not sure exactly now what the VA can help you with, she's going to give you a lot of ideas and support you along the way to making sure that the VA is actually giving you more and more help.
So we have a comment from your customer, Vincenzo Toscano. VA is an amazing service. We use them for their VAs to have, and it's still middle of the day. My head is not working properly. So Vincenzo said, let me read this again. So Vincenzo Toscano says, VAA is an amazing service. We use them and their VAs have great knowledge. And we have question. We have question from Araceli. However, if I'm a newbie and I don't know the PPC system well, how do I hire a knowledgeable VA? I don't know what I don't know. The trust factor becomes an issue, I think. What do you think?
So it's connected a little bit with the beginning of what I said. So either you take the risk, understanding that when hiring somebody without you knowing anything about PPC, there is a risk to this, and I would. It sounds a bit, fake to say it, but I would recommend our service because of it. Because when you're hiring somebody and you're only counting on what they say about their knowledge, and you have no idea if this is true or not, and you cannot really test it because you don't know PPC, then you could be, misled very easily. What we're doing this for the last 5 years. We've been training Amazon PPC VAs for very big PPC agencies and aggregators our PPC VAs, they definitely know their job. And it's still a risk when you don't know what the VA is reporting to you, but it's less of a risk compared to just hiring somebody out there.
All right, we have another fan of your service. Chesky says, I have 3 VAs from VAA. They are the best. So one more time,
wow, this is really great to hear. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you will find the link below in the description to VA Academy, the website, and also you can just book directly the call with Gilad. He still doesn't have virtual assistant to have calls, so I assume. All right.
Yeah, I like to talk to people myself. I can guarantee that in the beginning, if you want to schedule a meeting, I will be the one taking your call. It's important for us to know exactly what you need in order to connect you with the best VA. Afterwards, it will not be me anymore. But yeah, in the beginning, it's important for me to talk to you.
True. Let's take one question, one more. When I hire a PPC VA, do I need to give them access to the wholesaler central, or can I just share the advertising manager access?
All right. So the answer is that first of all, you should know that you should never, when given permission to your VA, you should never share your username and password. This you should never do. I mean, the only way to give access to your VA is by using a user permission. It's a feature inside of Seller Central, and you create a user permission, and there you decide exactly which menus and which options the VA can help you with. And you can decide if this person will see or not see a specific menu. So you can decide that the VA will never be able to see how many, what's your next payment from Amazon or your bank details. And you can decide that the only thing that they will be able to see is your inventory, your PPC campaigns, and the performance reports, for example, which are the things that they would usually need in order to run your PPC.
All right, thank you very much. And I wanted to remind one more time that if you enjoy the content, don't forget to like and subscribe. And let's see, Keith is saying, when is the right time to hire VA services?
Well, I think it depends on your budget. There is not a point that is too early, I would say. Like I said from the beginning, it's always good if you have a chance to experiment things yourself. So you already have the experience in understanding how much time it takes to do every task, and understanding that this is something that you don't want to do for the rest of your life. You want it to be done by a VA, but you know how to understand the reports that the VA will create for you. So usually after a few months of doing things yourself, you would already know better how to work with the VA. But I would not say to wait until you reach a certain level of income just to hire VAs. You should see that you can cover the expense of it, or you have the budget or the capacity to cover the expense. But after that, as early as you can, saying what I said before of understanding what the VA is going to do for you, then it's already good because it allows you to grow faster.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Gilad. Thank you, LISETT, for being here. VA Academy links people will find below in the description, but can you very quickly run through what kind of VAs are you offering?
Okay, so I'm going to just repeat the things that I said. We are an Amazon-focused company. We have Amazon VAs, PPC VAs, social media VAs, executive assistants, graphic designers, video editors, everything to help you to grow on Amazon. Like I said, I'm an Amazon seller myself, so I know exactly the things that could help you as Amazon sellers, how to grow your business faster. We are working a lot with agencies and 8-figure sellers. So we know to train our VAs in a very high level according to their needs. So I'll be happy to talk to you.
Okay, thank you. So people are really enjoying the session. Good points. Thank you. I'll give you a call. So be ready to have your schedule full next week. And actually, before we totally wrap up the session, we do have one more question which we received. So Paige wanted to know, can you give some estimates? How much does it cost to have a PPC virtual assistant?
Yeah, definitely. It's everything we're going to talk also on the phone, but just for you to know, the cost of a PPC VA is $7.50 an hour, and it's flexible. You don't have to hire somebody full-time job. You can hire somebody for a few hours a day and add hours later on or deduct hours. It's super flexible, but I still prefer to explain to you how it works exactly on the phone call. But yeah, that's the way it works. $7.50 per hour.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Gilad, and see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much for having me. My pleasure.
LISETT. Bye.
Bye.
And now I would like to invite you to watch other video with Gilad, where he tells more about how virtual assistants can help to improve your business and scale your business.